What's good, YouTube? It's Calcioscope. We back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I got to this picture right here with the Luka Doncic game winner jump shot. I decided to make a sports design, a manipulation of his shot into like a 2K format. So I thought it came out pretty cool, and I think it's one that you guys will definitely like, so you can try it out for yourself. If you guys want to check it out on my Instagram as well, that's at Calcioscope as well, just like on YouTube, but there's no spaces in between. So without further ado, let's break down this PSD. Let's break down the design, alright? So like I like to do, like on the last one with the Devin Booker design, I just get rid of all the visible layers first, so I can just really start breaking it down from the background with you guys. And then we just work our way up. So let's just do that first. Alright, so here we go. This was the original picture right here. Without the cracks, okay. Yeah, this is the original picture right here, and I got this picture off of Getty Images. If you guys don't know how I get my Getty Images for free and just without any hassle, just I'm gonna link the tutorial down below that I have for that. But the first thing that I did was I made it a dynamic background, so you guys see right here. I changed it from the normal background to sort of this more dynamic, making it look a little bit more cartoony, I would say, kind of, because it's like popping out more on the specific parts. And the way I did that is I'm just gonna do it again because I don't have the smart layers on it for it. So I'm gonna make a duplicate of this background, and then I went to Filter, Topaz Labs, and Topaz Adjust. And the two that I really like to use on really most of my edits are Dynamic Pop first. You can adjust all of these different sliders like to your liking, and then I go to Light Pop Smooth, right? And then I just press OK, because when you press apply, it adds them on so you can stack different filters, right? So that's the first thing I did for the background. See, that's the before, that's after. It's already looking a lot better than what it would just be regular, right? It just gives it a lot more texture, a lot more detail. So let's just put that on. And then the second thing that I wanted to add was just a little crack effect on the floor. And the crack effect on the floor, I'm just gonna open up the smart layer. It's really this picture. So it's a white picture, and the great thing about that is that once you put it on to multiply, it pretty much blends in with the floor really good. The only thing that you have to be careful for is the layer mask just covering up. So see, like this wouldn't really make sense if there's a crack right here, but the line's going just straight through, or just going straight through right here. That wouldn't make sense, so I'd really have to manipulate the whole floor. So I just kind of kept it pretty simple right here. I didn't want to do too much, and I just deleted up to that point so that it just looked more realistic, even though it is a crack in the floor and you don't see that. But you know, just trying to make it look a little more realistic. And then I added a levels adjustment right on top of that, and here was the levels adjustments. The first one that I just made the reds pop a little bit more, the court a little bit more shiny, because with levels, okay, let's get out of here. Yeah, let's go into properties. So with levels, you can just pick your darkest darks and lightest lights, and you can just adjust them, and it's just a really good tool. Like you can just bring out highlights wherever you want. It's a really good tool to use. So that's what we used on the background. And then at Calcioscope on the floor, that's just it's hard to see because it's all white, but it's just my text right here. And then from my text right there, I just took it and I distorted it. So this would be non-distorted, and when it's like back up, and you right click, you press distort, and you can just distort that down to the floor, right? That's what I did there. Then for the sharpshooter part, this is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting. I put the sharpshooter circle on him, and where I got this from was literally I took a lot of these pictures from literally 2K. So I took this from a thumbnail of 2K, and yeah, I just put that sharpshooter circle right on him, and I distorted it to make it kind of go around his feet. But we'll get to where we got to his feet in a little bit. I want to actually unmask him, or put where his mask is. I gotta find that, one sec. All right, so yeah, this is the mask of Luka right here. I should actually name that. So Luka masked. So this is him masked out, and the way that I went about just making everything circle around him. One thing I forgot to mention is when you guys are making the stroke for the circle, make sure you guys turn the fill off. And to turn the fill off, you're going to want to have that red diagonal bar that you're going to see on my screen in the top left where the fill is. You want to have that red diagonal bar in between the fill, and the stroke should be the only thing that's turned on. So yeah, let's get back to the video. As I kind of just distorted everything, honestly. So this is the ellipse that you see. This would be a full ellipse without the layer mask, but if you delete the layer mask, see it's a full ellipse. but I just made a layer mask and made it half an ellipse, and then I made the other half the green release. And inside of the green release, you guys know once you get a green release in 2K, you get that like glow. So I added the outer glow of like a light green, and then just the outer glow on there, and then I spiced it up a little bit with the levels. See, this kind of brought it to life. Levels brought it to life a little bit, making it a little bit brighter, and then from there I added a linear dodge element. So I just painted on white. So I painted on white like that, so you see the effect even more. But the linear dodge makes the effect just glow a little bit, so it gave it that nice glow. And I clipped it to the layer. So all you gotta do to clip to layers is hold down Alt and you press on like the bottom of the layer, or you can right click and press release clipping mask, or you can right click and say create clipping mask, right? So then we get to the fire part of the circle. I really like that effect. It's just really fun to use. This is just it's a really good stock image that I have. It's just a fire barrel. It's like my go-to for fire things. I don't know. It's just a really good texture that I like to use. It just has a lot of detail in it. So that's what I use for that layer. And then I put it on screen so that it wouldn't just be like I'd have to get all the blacks out by myself. I just put it on screen so I could just not have to worry about that like that. And then my white trim goes over on top because, as you know, in 2K, that's really just how it goes. So that's why I put it there. Then we have our blue circle. Same thing. Use my ellipse tool. I'll just show you guys real quick. So if you use your ellipse tool and you take out that tool, you can just press Control T, and then you can distort it to wherever you want, right? So that's really how I did all of the circles. So don't get too confused about that. Just distort your circles, or you can actually just do it from manually if you just use the free transform. And then layer 3, I don't even think I used this. There's a couple of things I didn't use. I set some layers just so I could manage stuff. And then my triangles are right on the edges, and I followed the same concept as the circles with the triangles. And the way I get triangles is using the polygonal tool, and then you can actually pick your sides right up here. You see right here, you can pick how many sides that you want. So 3 sides is obviously going to be a triangle, and then you just play around with your triangles from there. So that's my triangle group. Nothing too fancy right there, just my triangle group right there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also put dynamic pop on Luka on here from Topaz Labs, the Adjust. Put dynamic pop on him there. And then this is my NBA logo. Like, you know when NBA players go to the park or whatever, they have that little badge. And I got that from just a picture, another stock picture, not stock picture, another thumbnail picture. I got that from. So I just masked out the NBA. Pretty simple. All right, and then let's see, what are we gonna go to next? Oh yeah, that's the fire in front. Same thing that I did. I put it on screen. And then what's our next layer? Yes, I didn't use this layer, I don't think. No. And then we have our player info bar. Okay, so the player info bar, that was pretty much done all in a separate window. Okay, so I did this all in a separate window, and I broke it down all the way. It's a lot of stuff that I had to break it down, right? But I'm gonna show you guys how I got to that point though. The base photo that I used was this photo. So just picture me putting this photo down, and then what I really did, I'm not gonna do all of what I did for each square. I'll show you like the main one. So what I did is I pretty much just traced these squares, and then I would manage the stroke on the squares, right? So I would trace the square, manage the stroke on the square, so that would be one rectangle. Then I would go back in, get on this rectangle. Like, that's how I really did it, just tracing, honestly. And that worked very well for me. And then so I got to that point where I have all my groups and everything. The only thing that I used from the actual picture was the takeover bar, because it's kind of hard to find the takeover bar. And when you do trace out the takeover bar, you're gonna want to use the feathering tool, because like this part right here can be really tricky. So if you let's see, you'll just make a mask of this. I'll add a duplicate for later. And what I did on that bar is I just like would feather it out to get rid of some of that black, right? And the feather tool is right up here. It has like the little spikes. It kind of looks like a feather low key, and that's how I would feather it out. and then add your own fire over the top so it doesn't look so weird, right? I'm just gonna undo that because we already did it. Okay, so that's how I did, and then I just made a group. Make sure it's transparent. I copied it and I pasted it over to there, and that's how we did the score, the player info score, or whatever you want to call it. And then my basketball curves are right here. I added a little bit of curves on there, so I added a little curves on there, and then I added a little curves, and then I add a little color balance just to like make it more blue. I feel like this matched the jersey more. The color blue just made the jersey pop out a little bit more. And then my logo. Now our last thing was, where's my green? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the green shot release. And the green shot release, I was able to, pretty much what I did here is, oh no, it wasn't even on this one. Hold on. Yeah, it was on this one. Okay. So all I did here was I traced right around what the green arrow would be, and with the pen tool. So I just used the pen tool, set it on path, and I just traced around where the green arrow would be. So I'm just going rough right now. So I traced something like that, and then I made it into a selection. So boom, make that selection. So then let's just fill it with green. So say that's your green arrow, and then I clipped it off after I went around. So I clipped it off because it was like a rough thing, so I just clipped it off, and I wanted to make it more sharp at the bottom. So I started from the bottom and I rose to the top right here. Start from the bottom, rise to the top. You guys know that's what we gotta do. And then after that, I added just a little bit of outer glow on it and a little bit of inner glow. And honestly, guys, that's pretty much the edit right there. I mean, if you want to include, I have my logo right there, but yeah, that's how I got to this final point of this Luka Doncic image. I didn't use camera raw filter, but if you want to use camera raw filter at the end, you would press Control Shift Alt or Command if you're on Mac, and then E, and then I make it into a smart object and go to camera raw filter. But in this case, I didn't even feel I needed to. I mean, camera raw filter is a really good tool though, so I mean, it's up to you guys. I use Lightroom on my phone once I'm done with most of my edits, but that's up to you, you know. But camera raw filter definitely is something to utilize on Photoshop. Never forget about it. Never turn your cheek to it. It's a really good tool. So hope you guys enjoyed this quick PSD breakdown. See, it wasn't too tough to get done. You just had to really focus on the things that you wanted to bring out inside of the edit, because if you're taking stuff from the game, you kind of gotta just like actually use images from the game so that you can complete it easier, or whatever you want to call it, right? So hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys drop a like if this helped you out, or if you just enjoyed seeing the breakdown. Who do you think's gonna win in the playoffs, the Mavericks or the Clippers? Let me know down below. And until next time, man, hit that red subscribe button if you're new. Turn the bell on for post notifications so you know when I upload. It's been Calcio Scope, man. Stay scoped, y'all. Peace.